Last night I played. Hello. Hello there. Wait, where's my button? There's my button. Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name is Spang. I don't know. I've been recently just starting the streams like that. My name is Override, and today we're going to be playing some more Hogwarts Legacy. Good drink. Yum yum. So, we've got the Killing Curse. This stream, as always, will contain spoilers for the fanfiction Harrison Hyrule, written by yours truly. Also, Q&A is now live, so anyone has fanfiction Q&A about the fanfic itself, go ahead and ask. It will be semi-spoiler, depending on how much I'll be giving. Also, I found this mod that changes your face to that of Daniel Radcliffe, the actor of Harry Potter. I got rid of it because it just didn't work. So instead we're back to stock standard, where unfortunately Harry's face looks like this right now. I will eventually find a mod that actually has Harrison Hyrule's face as Daniel Radcliffe, or a Daniel Radcliffe equivalent, or something that I personally like. I mean, he's meant to be a prince, so Jesus Christ. Oh. Damn chips be salty! We're doing this. Straight up grabbing that, because Yas Queen. Also, I just found out just now that if you have a look, my Killing Curse is utilized. Also, I got rid of the I wasn't able to find a pretty good Avada Kedavra. Besides Severus Snape, but I didn't really want to put it in there, so we're back to stock standard Avada Kedavra. And I'm very sad, but... So we're going into Spinner's Cave, which is an Easter egg on Snape's house, who lives at Spinner's End. Which, by the way, pointing something out, Spinner's End is close to or near the same town that Lily Evans grew up in.
Revelio.
I still haven't found a walk while you Revelio mod.
Tobbs? Deke sent me. Are you in here?
I can't do that. How about no? Snape's role in Harrison Hyrule will be identical to that of Harry Potter. He will be a good but flawed man. So Snape is firmly on the side of good. Considering it's not a spoiler, I don't need to. I'll just remind everyone of Chapter 4. Dumbledore. It's a evil Dumbledore fic. So being good doesn't necessarily mean being on Dumbledore's side. In this particular fic, Snape's role will be to play spy for both the Order of the Phoenix and for Voldemort's camp. As per Chapter 9, he was... Lucius Malfoy acted as a spy for himself. Like, he was straight up Slytherin, saving himself because of his connection to the Sheikah clan. So he acted as a spy and found out quite easily that Snape was Dumbledore's spy in Voldemort's camp, and so would pass information to Snape, who would then pass information to Voldemort. Snape's role, again, will be identical. He will save Harry as much as he can. He doesn't realize Harry's past. It's going to be close to canon, with one minor difference. I'm using the old trope of Lucius and Snape are friends. It's just a good trope. It just works. However,
Some time ago.
he will be acting, again, this is not a spoiler, he will be acting as the go-between between Camp Half-Blood and the Hogwarts demigods. As, again, a reminder, this is a three-way crossover between, Harry Potter and Legend of Zelda with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, being a sort of bridge that links the two universes together. You've got demigods and their awesomely powerful magic, and you've got Legend of Zelda, which has awesomely powerful magic, and then demigods themselves, again, with their links to the mortal world, and wizards with their links to the mortal world. You've got wizards who would, as pagans, would follow the triple goddess, or Hecate, who is a Greek god, so it'll be a crossover. I'm not going to spoil much, but sometime in his past, Severus Snape managed to get the favor of Hecate, the goddess of magic, and not being a demigod, he acts as the liaison between the demigods that go to Hogwarts, which there are going to be a handful, not a few, a handful, like maybe 4 or 5, round there, and Camp Half-Blood. So while the demigods are at Hogwarts, he is essentially their caretaker. While they are at Camp Half-Blood, he doesn't have any sway. He cannot go to Camp Half-Blood. He is not a demigod, although if the need arises, Hecate could summon him to Camp Half-Blood, but he doesn't. He has no need to. As far as whether he will be dying or not, as far as whether he is going to be killing Dumbledore or not, both of those are, well, I've got to keep secrets from you guys somehow. So, not saying. But, he is a very flawed human. He's not perfect.
That didn't sound particularly
He didn't, so in the book, he begged Dumbledore to save Lily. Not Harry and not James, just Lily. Same deal. This is a man who is distraught, who has fallen in love for Harry's mother so, like, a long time ago. One of his first friends. He begged Dumbledore to save Lily. Dumbledore has no interest in saving Lily, but needs a spy. So that's what he did. Voldemort, however, different story altogether. Voldemort, it's never... Oh, shit. Did I die? Yeah, okay. Voldemort, it was never really stated. The relationship between Voldemort and Snape. So, Voldemort trusts Snape. Like, a lot. So, not only is Snape a half-blood, like Voldemort, but he's magically powerful, like Voldemort. I like to portray my Snape-Voldemort relationship as master and apprentice. Like, if Voldemort wasn't scared of death and believed that he needed to have a successor, Snape would be that successor. That's how I'll be portraying that relationship. So in Goblet of Fire, when Voldemort believes that Snape has betrayed the cause and has also... I forgot I have these spells. Snape betrayed the cause and needs to be taken care of. He's more hurt that he is betrayed. Because something in the books that wasn't really portrayed in the movies was that Voldemort taught Snape, and only Snape, his secret to supportless flight. The ability to fly like a freaking superhero. Only Snape was taught that by Voldemort. So it goes to suggest that Voldemort held Snape in a higher breadth. He also, in the movie portrayal, sat on Voldemort's left hand, which is a sign of trust. You know what? Hello. Goodbye. Wait, that was an Acromantula. That wasn't a Thornback, that was an Acromantula. Holy shit, okay. Yes, I established earlier on, again, it was just a passing remark. James Potter is a child of Hermes. So James Potter was a demigod, but Lily was not, neither was Snape. James Potter did go to Camp Half-Blood.
Shame you're so foul.
But he is, because I need to keep bloodlines intact, James Potter is the same kind of half-blood that another character is. I don't know if I've said who it is, so I'm not going to say it. But James Potter, what happened is... so I'm going with Charles and Doria Potter instead of Fleamont and Cassandra, which is canon. I'm going with Charles and Doria. So Charles Potter and Doria Black as the parents of James Potter. Charles Potter... he was still a pureblood, so due to either inbreeding or possibly a maledictus, he was infertile. So I'm going with another old trope that it works. It's a good one. Why change things? Hermes essentially possessed James Potter during the conception period, so it was James Potter's bloodline enhanced with Hermes' divinity, which made James Potter a demigod.
I have a feeling that house elf is Tobbs.
The big spider was too much. Tobbs has failed you and deserves his punishment. Feels weak. Oh my god.
Poor Tobbs.
That's
Left
bad.
here
What?
alone with the spiders.
So James Potter is just a stock stand. Yeah, ritual, essentially. Ritual to summon Hermes. Hermes answered and said, I'll possess your body and have sex with your wife. So, Hermes is Harry's grandfather, genetically. And therefore, Harry will be a legacy, which is something that was introduced in Heroes of Olympus. So a legacy is a descendant of a demigod. Which is what Harry will be. He's also going to be a legacy of Hades. But that is through the Peveril bloodline. And again, not a spoiler, but the three brothers of the Tale of Beetle Bard live in the Zelda era, not in the Harry era.
Seems I'm back at the entrance to the cave.
Ah.
Hobbs's master is awful.
Confringo!
Royal Hylian blood, the divinity in that bloodline. Well, he's still human at the moment. I mean, you guessed it. He's going to be adopted by the royal family. Next chapter, actually. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad and it's going to be grand. And I don't mean the next chapter I'm going to write. I mean the next chapter to be uploaded. Chapter 13 is just about finished. I've just got to put a conclusion. But, excuse me? Excuse me? Oh. Also, I got rid of that apparition mod because Jesus Christ. That was terrible. Instead, I replaced it with a different apparition mod. Now, watch this. Are they only going to use Levioso? Hold on, that's a curse. Yeah, I told you before. Yeah, so it's going to be in the next chapter. It's going to be sad, but I have to keep it canon. So that's chapter 11, which also ends the Prince of Hyrule arc. Chapter 13 is just about done. So, yeah, Harrison... So I have to work... One of the biggest challenges was I had to work out how divinity scales. So, I have it quite simply. So, spoiler for Harrison Hyrule for those who don't know. The Golden Goddesses are the overarching divinity of divinity. They are the creator goddesses of the universe. They are the Alpha and Omega. They did everything. They are not infallible, but they're omnipotent. They are omniscient, and they are the other thing. So we are looking at proper goddesses here. They are S tier, we'll say. Underneath the Golden Goddesses, you have... the Golden Goddesses' Demise is the Golden Goddesses' youngest brother, also S tier. Underneath the Golden Goddesses, you've got Hylia. Hylia is their daughter, and also Death. And by death, I mean the physical manifestation of the universal phenomenon that signifies the end of corporeal existence. That death. So, like, the force of death. Come on, give me something to work with. Give me something to work with. Give me something to work with. Something to work with. Alright, cool. So now... your turn! Give me a second, I'm just Multi-concentrate. What's this do?
Petrificus Totalis.
Oh, right, yeah. I got Petrificus Totalis as a spell.
Confringo. Defender. Confringo.
Yeah, so what was I up to? Right. Demise is the younger brother. Hylia is A tier. Hylia is directly underneath the Golden Goddesses and are the A tier goddess. The A tier goddess. She is a creator god, but not the creator god. She created the Hylians. Underneath that, sorry, sideways to that, the same A tier is Chaos, which is the Greek god of chaos. Cage beast cannot be rescued. Okay. So the Greek god Chaos, goddess Chaos, is the creator god of the Greek pantheon. Same deal. She is on par with Hylia. Underneath that, you have B tier, which are the Primordials and the Gigantes. The Primordials are the primal things of creation. So you have Nyx, the goddess of the primordial of the night. You've got Gaia, the primordial of earth. And of course you've got Oceanus, the primordial of the ocean. And the Gigantes. So those are the specialized children that Gaia gave birth to, who are counters to the Greek gods. Underneath that, so C tier, are the Titans. The Titans are the parents of the gods, the Greek gods, the parents. Oh, sorry, other way. Underneath the Gigantes and the Primordials, you've got the gods. So that is the Olympians, that is the non-Olympians, the gods. Underneath the gods, you have the Titans. The Titans are D tier. Because they were defeated by the gods, so it only makes sense that they're weaker. Underneath the Titans, you have demigods. However, that varies from demigod to demigod. Some demigods are more powerful than others and are capable of defeating higher-leveled enemies. Now, finally, where do the Hylians and the races of Hyrule fit into this? Me and my beta have been working on that. At the moment, it sits as this. A fully trained, battle-hardened Hylian is power-levelly equivalent to the Greek gods. So, we're talking about basically, if Captain America was a Hylian, he would be able to go toe-to-toe with the Greek gods. However, royal Hylians, that is, Hylians that are the children of Hylia. By the way, unlike the Greek gods, so if a demigod has a child, that divine blood gets watered down. Unlike Hylia, if you were to do a blood test, every time a royal family member has a child, they are the child of Hylia. So 50% divinity every time, because that is how powerful the Hylians are. Now, the Gigantes and the Primordials, more specifically the Gigantes, so the Royal Hylians, so we're talking Harry and Zelda exclusively. Just Harry, just Zelda, can go toe-to-toe with the Primordials. The reason why is because they are children of Hylia. Just like Chaos gave birth to the Primordials, Hylia gave divine birth to the royal family. So they can go toe-to-toe, fully trained, right? This is not just like at birth. You have to be fully trained. A fully trained royal Hylian is on par with the Primordials. So, quite powerful. Well, on par with the Gigantes. It would quite literally be a battle of stamina and how long someone could last. So if Harry were to go up against Rick Riordan's version of Gaia, more than likely Harry would lose because Gaia can just last longer. She is quite literally the Earth. Harry would have to do some very, we're talking like super duper ultra mega creative spellcasting in order just to win. He would have to go full-blown dirty fighter here. So that's how they measure up. Back.
I'm back from the cave, Deke.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry to tell you this, Deke.
Oh my. Deke was afraid. Deke and Tobbs once shared the same master. When he died, we were separated. Deke always wished Tobbs had been sent to Hogwarts too. Deke feels lucky to serve such kind witches. Deke will miss his friend dearly, and will...
I'm truly sorry.
Thank you. You are very kind. Deke could use some time alone.
But that's not to say Harry would win in a fight against all the Titans, all the Gigantes. Like, he's going to be specializing in fire magic, illusion magic, and martial arts. And by martial arts, I don't mean fist fighting, I mean the martial arts. That is to say, sword fighting, weapons, whatnot, that kind of stuff.
You might be interested in learning how to breed beasts.
Breeding uwu? Right. I'm here.
Deke would like to speak with you when you have a moment.
Hello, Deke.
Indeed.
That sounds like a very...
Rescuing and breeding beasts go hand in. Breeding beasts.
I see.
First, bring a pair.
Yeah, so like
creatures.
I've seen Thestrals before, but where would I...
Deke has seen some wild Thestrals. Then you'll need to purchase a spellcraft for the...
Okay.
Once you've rescued the Thestrals and you have the spellcraft...
Oh. Yeah, so like, Harry's still very limited to his, by his magical core. It's still heavily damaged. So just because he's going to have a crazy amount of strength doesn't mean he's going to be infallible. Even then, he's still going to be limited by his Hylian physiology. Yes, Hylians are genetically superior to most other races. It's still a matter of stamina. Eventually, there's a limit. I mean, Breath of the Wild shows us that that limit is quite up there, but there is a limit. So, if he were to go toe-to-toe with another race, with a Gigante, it would have to be one of the ones that he'd be able to defeat, because you've got a problem with, Actually, I want to show you guys something real quick. While I'm talking. Yeah, so he's gonna have a problem with, what's it called? With using too much magic, not being matched up very well against one of the Gigantes. So, just real quick, one of the biggest problems that people kept asking was traversal. I fixed that. So, if you hold V, it brings up that. If you hold V again, it closes it, and then if you tap B, it produces like a guide for you to follow. However, I've introduced a mod which does something a little bit better. Operation, baby! Anyway, so with power levels, someone like Typhon, who was created to go against Zeus,
something in particular you're looking for.
Harry might be able to overpower.
Shall we?
Might being the key word there.
Now we can
Might.
conjure a breeding pen in the room.
Um,
Let's get back to Deke with the Thestrals.
at the cell, yeah. Yeah, the key word there is might. Because a lot of his power is, again, fire, illusion, swordplay. How do you win in a fight against what is quite simply a tornado? You know, he doesn't specialize in Faror's wind magic. So, while he knows it, that's more Link's kind of deal.
Let me know if there's anything else.
So, it would be a struggle. Another thing as well is I purposefully ruptured Harry's core because I needed him to be weak in certain ways. Having an overpowered protagonist is not fun. So a lot of his enemies that he's going to be fighting will be able possibly to beat him. I've said it before, Hylians are naturally arrogant because they are superior. Again, it is a genetic fact. Also, that you know how you can't apparate into Hogwarts? Yeah. Yeah, it works. So Harry is focusing a lot on what is more commonly known in the Dungeons and Dragons world, support magic. A lot of his magic is going to be healing, illusions, stuff to disorient, and of course kill. That leaves a lot of weakness for Harry. Not weakness in the traditional sense, but still weakness. So, especially with swordplay, because Harry focuses a lot more on magic skills instead of martial skills, while he is a highly sufficient swordsman, were he to fight against Link, who trained most of his life in swordplay, Harry would be defeated. Not easily, but he would be defeated against Link in a sword fight. Just like he would be defeated by Zelda in a magical duel.
I've rescued the Thestrals and bought the spellcraft for the pen.
Then use the pen to start the program.
I shall.
Ah, yes.
Deke never grows tired of the room's surprises. We now have the perfect place for those Thestrals. Please let
I've got to
Deke
go
know
get them,
once
do I?
you've bred them.
Oh, behind the scenes! I like this. I like usable corridors. Anyway, so again, while he's going to be incredibly powerful, he's not going to be God.
Settle yourself. I mean you no harm.
Except for one spell which he'll be having access to. Well, it's only going to be used once near the end of the third last. I think it's the third last arc of the story. Damn, this place is cool. But he's going to have one overpowered spell. Every protagonist needs an overpowered spell. We're going to summon one of those, and then I'm going to put one of these. And then we're going to do some of these. I like this. I have to consider that apparition. I have to consider that apparition as cheating. The Dark Lord. Right, so with the Dark Lord, While Harry is a dark magic user, we've had to balance his titles, and as far as the Dark Lord goes, there are, what is it, two self-proclaimed Dark Lords available at the moment. Now, it hasn't been mentioned besides a passing remark, but Vati is still considered the current Dark Lord. Vati is sealed inside of the Silent Realm. In the place where you go to get the Master Sword, the Sacred Grove, the Master Sword is there. But if Harry were to go into the Silent Realm, the Four Sword would be there. Therefore, the Four Sword is... Oh, okay. Manage beasties. The Four Sword is the current location of Vati. And Vati is considered to be the current Dark Lord. I'm not going to say whether he's going to make an appearance, or whether he's even considered to be alive. You have to take into account, this is now, I want to say, about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8,000 years after the events of... what's it called? After the events of Minish Cap and Four Sword, Vati as well was considered to be the strongest magical practitioner in the world. He was so powerful that he needed to quite literally shed his mortal coil, rip his soul in half, removing the mortal part of his soul, and ascend to godhood in order to stay alive. That is how powerful Vati is. And he has been successfully, and for quite a significant amount of time, been sealed away in the Silent Realm. Whether or not Harry will become the Dark Lord, I have established that there are 3 Lords of Magic. Well, 5, really. But, so there are 5 Lords of Magic. No, wait, sorry, there are 5 Lords of Magic. The Light Lord, the Grey Lord, the Dark Lord, the Divine, and the Abyssal Lord. The Divine Lord is always Zelda. Or more specifically, the Princess of Destiny, which just happens to always be Zelda. The Abyssal Lord is always the version of the Curse of Demise that has become active. So, in the event, so we'll take an example. With Twilight Princess, Ganondorf is the Dark Lord. So it's the Dark Lord Ganondorf. Ganondorf would be the Abyssal Lord, the Lord of the Void, the Dark World. Oh my god, that is adorable. Oh, I can just casually get Thestral Tail hair. Right, Elder Wand, anyone? Anyone want some Elder Wand? You ever heard of Heinz? Sorry, I watched too much JonTron. Are those the Mandrake toy? Anyway. At the moment, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 active lords and 1 inactive. Vati is the inactive lord, the inactive Dark Lord. They can fly in this. Oh, that's adorable. Anyway, so Vati's the inactive Dark Lord. James Pleaston is the active Light Lord. Alaric Angevin is the Grey Lord. Zelda is the Divine Lord. Sorry, I think it's Astral I called it. Well, Zelda's the Divine Lord, and Ganondorf, who is currently sealed away in the Twilight Realm, is the Abyssal Lord. And I call them Lord, even though about the whole gender thing, because it is gender ambiguous. Instead of the whole you are a lord or lady of a house. For the purposes of magic, the word lord is gender neutral. So with Zelda being the lord of the Astral Lord, I think it's Astral Lord, yeah. With Zelda being the Astral Lord, she has essentially, with the Lords of Magic, to become a Lord of Magic, you must be the most... What is going on? Hold on. Sorry, my phone just went weird. To be a Lord of Magic, you have to undergo a training and assessment, which is basically a test to work out your knowledge on your chosen lordship. You must then succeed in that test with full marks. Why? There we go. You must succeed that test with full marks, and then you must succeed in the ritual. Now I'm going to be explaining how magic works, but the way magic works is, imagine a quilt, a patchwork quilt that is infinitely long and infinitely wide, divided into 7 infinitely long and infinitely wide segments. So each segment represents a facet of magic: abyssal, divine, black, white, light, dark, and grey. If you are creating a new spell, what you're doing is... So this quilt is magic. It is magic, the way magic exists in my world. If you want to create a new spell, you're not just creating a new spell. You're essentially weaving a new thread into this quilt of magic. So if someone were to try and use the Killing Curse... Actually, no, what's more accurate? If someone was to use Expelliarmus, right? So, wand movement, spell, correct magical power through the wand, and cast Expelliarmus. If the spell hasn't been created yet, nothing would happen. However, when the spell is created, and it's created using a runic array, an arithmancy array, and a lot of time, when a spell has been created, you are essentially teaching this quilt of magic how this particular thread, the thread that is Expelliarmus, works. Expelliarmus, being a disarming spell with a small ability of knockback, would be considered grey. So the thread that defines Expelliarmus, what it can do, the power requirements, the wand movements, or more accurately, the hand movements, is weaved into the part of this quilt that defines grey magic. Once the thread exists in the quilt of magic, anyone can cast that spell, not just the creator. Obviously, in order to know that the spell exists, you either have to have the ability to see the quilt, or you have to have the ability to know that the spell exists, whether by learning it through a book, through thieving, whatever. You have to know the spell exists to cast it. Every time someone casts a spell, their internal magic is essentially sending out a request, like a computer, to the quilt and saying, does this action exist? If the thing says yes, the quilt mutates the magic and sends it back to you to allow you to cast a spell. And all that happens in an almost instant, which allows for, spell chaining. I'm waiting for this to happen. Breeding pen and get the Threstles to mate. How? Have sex! Freaking horse people! Anyway. So that's how magic works. So if a spell doesn't exist, it won't happen. If it does exist, you must know how to use it. And if you do use it, you are essentially asking the quilt to cause an effect through your magic. You're tugging on the thread, as it were. Every time someone creates a spell, that spell becomes imprinted on the quilt of magic. And this is all based on Wheel of Time, by the way. Wheel of Time is a big inspiration to the backgrounds of a lot of what I'm doing. But it's based on Wheel of Time, essentially. So, with the Dark Lord, Light Lord, Grey Lord rituals, once you have succeeded in the test, once that is complete, you must partake in a ritual. The ritual for the Dark Lord... Oh, that's how that works. The ritual of the Dark Lord works by making you a nexus point in that particular discipline. So, if you wish to become the Light Lord, you must partake in the ritual, which instead of remember the quilt, instead of having threads, it creates a knot in the quilt, where you become the nexus point for light magic, for dark magic, for grey magic. You become the most powerful dark magic user, light magic user, or grey magic user in existence. And it doesn't create a new knot in the quilt. It moves the already existing knot to your position in the timeline, because again, it's infinitely large. So as more magic gets made, the quilt gets longer. And as far as the Dark Lord and Light Lord rituals go, just say you're trying to become the Light Lord. If a Light Lord already exists and they are still alive, you don't usurp them. Essentially, what the quilt does is say, "Oi, you're trying to steal magic from someone. We're not doing that, Steve." And the quilt, the magic of magic itself kills you violently. So that's what happens. That's what you need to do to become a magic lord. So you need to be incredibly sure that the previous magic lord is dead, because if they're dead, then anyone can become a magic lord so long as they pass the tests and the rituals. With Harry, now I can answer your question. Will Harry become the Dark Lord? The real question you should be asking yourself is Vati alive? Because if Vati, who is the Dark Lord, is alive, if Harry were to attempt the ritual, he would die. And it's not possible to know whether Vati's alive without releasing him.
I hope Professor Fig got my owl. I need to tell him and the Keepers that Ranrock knows where the last repository is.
Hello.
According to the owl I received, Ranrock is moving more quickly than we could have anticipated.
This is grave news indeed.
He could be.
We had hoped for more time to discuss the best path forward.
Let us hear what the student has to say.
Alright, fam.
Professor, you
Possible
received my owl.
spoilers.
Ranrock has the last of Bragbor's journals. He killed Lodgok to get it. He knows where the last repository is.
Godric's heart.
Lodgok and Ranrock.
Ranrock is a monster.
Surely this changes things. Ranrock has Bragbor's...
We obliviated Bragbor.
Isadora told Bragbor about the magic when she asked him to build a container for her. I've seen her memories.
Isadora left memories for someone to find? You know what she did?
Her memories showed what she did for her father, which I also saw in Professor Rookwood's pensive. And a conversation with Bragbor in which she expressed frustration about the limits being placed on her use of ancient magic.
Based upon
Yeah.
the memories they have seen, I believe our young friend is well aware of the
Yeah,
grave
Vati is alive.
circumstances in which we find ourselves. The next trial will involve an exceptional level of magical skill and a nuanced ability.
This
Find
one's
a
a
face
little
of
bit funny.
stone and tendril. I should advise you that you must engage with any. Professor Bakar will meet you in his...
An exceptional level of magical skill? I suppose we should begin our search for...
Very well.
Professor Weasley has been keeping an eye on me. Perhaps we should meet there, so she has no reason to raise concerns with Professor Black. I shall see you near the coast. Perhaps then you can tell...
Yeah, so Vati is alive. I've already stated in the story, quite a few of the Zelda baddies are going to be alive. Because Harry needs to still prove himself as a hero. With Link, he's had multiple reincarnations to do so. Harry hasn't. So he needs to prove himself a hero before he can actually, before he can utilize the magic that he should wield. Not the magic, more of... He needs to prove himself so he can be the hero he should be. There we go, that's a bit better. So even though he is quite apt at magic, even though he has a good head on his shoulders, morally, he doesn't believe in for the greater good at all. So Dumbledore and him are not going to be best friends. But he believes that there is a level of trust and faith that one should put in another. And that if you fail that trust, if you break it, if whatever happens, oh shit.
No, you don't. Accio. A Merlin trial.
Excuse me, horse. Where'd he go? God damn it. Oh well. So yeah, Harry believes in that kind of... Everyone should be judged on their own merits. And trust should only be given once. He's very...
Here's one of those tables Professor Shaw mentioned.
Very, what's his name? Very 10th Doctor. One chance. Dog! Voldemort is a false Dark Lord of magic unless Vati sometimes though. To wield the Triforce of Power? Triforce of Power can only be utilized by people with enough magical ability to handle the channeling. Think the Infinity Stones. Now, I've got plans for Voldemort. Dear God, do I have plans for Voldemort. Triforce of Power. All I can say is that the Triforce of Power is lost for a quite substantial amount of time after the events of Twilight Princess, because Ganondorf loses it at the end of Twilight Princess. So even though Ganondorf, I mean, it's a Zelda fanfic, you've got to have a Ganondorf. So even though Ganondorf somehow survives, it's not somehow, it's premeditated, and it's Harry's fault. Even though Ganondorf survives, he doesn't have the Triforce of Power at the end of Twilight Princess. That being said, it is lost for, we're talking millions of years. Like, once the Triforce of Power disappears from Ganondorf, it's not seen. It's not seen until the Harry Potter era.
Any of Ranrock's loyalists to contend with. Of course, the bad news is that it's likely because they no longer need to track the Keepers for information.
Confringo!
Is that a...
Oh yeah,
It is.
he's gonna have trial by
I
tribulation.
know what must be done. Do you recognize the head sculptor?
It looks like a grap horn.
And the prints carved into the ground lead me to believe that a grap horn will somehow open the way forward.
That,
It would seem so.
I'm gonna skip this.
if that's what must be done.
Excellent. I know this area now. So,
And with Voldemort being a Dark Lord, anyone can call themselves a Dark Lord. Not a problem. It's only a problem if someone calls themselves the King or Queen of Hyrule. Or the King and Queen of the Free People of Hyrule. Specifically. That's very specific. I need to be very specific. The King or Queen or Prince and Princess of the Free People of Hyrule. By the grace of Hylia. If anyone calls themselves by that title, and they are not that, bad shit happens to
We
them.
should investigate.
So while Voldemort is not the Dark Lord, he's still a Dark Lord. He's still a one-for-one. He is a Lord by blood. He's the Lord of House Slytherin, and of House Gaunt. And technically, I think...
This place has seen better days.
Well, although it's not really stated, the Muggles, Thomas Riddle, they lived and were quite well known in Little Hangleton, so it's possible that they might have been peerage. So if I really wanted to, I'm not really planning much on that part of the story yet,
Must be the place.
but I could potentially make Voldemort peerage. I might.
Here's a pleasant surprise.
So while he is a lord, he has a he has a darkness alignment.
Very well, Lord
So
Shaw.
he can call himself a Dark Lord. He can call himself the Dark Lord. Doesn't mean it's true, but he is definitely a Dark Lord. But he's not, for example... Ouch. He's not, for example... the Lord of Darkness, Nexus of Dark Magic. That, at this point in the story, is completely and utterly... Why can't I use the killing curse on him? I can't use any of the Unforgivables? Can I use Crucio? No. Okay. Yeah, so he is not the nexus of the dark magic. How bad are we talking here? They become insane. Psychopathic.
Lumos.
That's the wrong spell! That was a bad idea.
Confringo. Defender.
Like the queen we do not talk about down here. Yes, exactly. They become like the Tyrant Queen. It is part of a divine curse that Hylia, Zelda Hylia, the Zelda from Skyward Sword, put on the title. So if someone were to call themselves the biggest dickus of planet Earth, that would be totally fine. But essentially anyone who calls themselves royalty over anyone on Earth, over all of what is the land of Hyrule, they start to go completely and utterly insane, megalomaniacal, proper bad. Like, they start losing what makes them themselves. People that are evil become more evil. People who are good become bad. Ow! What would Harry do here? What would Harrison Hyrule do here? Oh, what? The game crashed. Harrison Hyrule would attack. Oh, yeah. The game crashed, though. Probably waited too long. Huh. Made it crash, yeah. Probably have to do that fight again. But yeah, the Tyrant Queen, damned be her name, shows up in chapter 11. You guys don't understand how much shit happens in chapter 11. Give me a second, I'm getting it up here. Give me a second. This PC. Me, chapter 11. Okay, so, you guys ready for this? You ready for this? Chapter 11 is 19,895 words. It is the final chapter in the arc, and it explains so much. Right? There is so much that happens in chapter 11. The glossary alone is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 26 glossary terms are in this chapter. It is a massive, it's basically 20,000 words chapter. And the Tyrant Queen shows up. You've read one-shots. Yeah, I wrote a novella in one chapter. Like, when I write and I'm passionate about what the hell I'm writing, I go ham. Like, I don't get that. This is a screenshot. Yeah, no, I think at the moment, with the unreleased chapters, I'm sitting at 130,000 words. The entire fic, including the unreleased chapters. And that's only one and a bit arcs of the story. Of a potential 10. Of a potential 10 arcs in the story. That's... Yeah. I have estimated that the fic is going to be around 500,000 words. I feel like now, after seeing that, I feel like it's going to be around 1 million. I'm going to be aiming for 500,000, but... Yeah. Some arcs are only going to be maybe 4 chapters long, but they're going to be important ones. But yeah, I mean, I might go if I, you know what, if I'm able to, I am going to pull a 50 Shades of Grey. For those of you who don't know, 50 Shades of Grey started off as a Twilight fanfiction, and the author just straight up changed the names and places, but then kept the plot as it was and published it as a best-selling novel. So I might do the same with this if I'm able to. But anyway, chapter 11 is by far my favorite. It has so much in it.
Confringo. You are going to help me.
The first arc has more words in it than Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah. And Philosopher's Stone.
Need to race now, my friend.
Philosopher's Stone has 90,000. So yeah.
Didn't anyone ever teach you not to take things that don't belong to you?
Hi!
I see you! It'll take more than this to stop the Lord of the Shore.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with what I've done. And you have to keep in mind as well, I'm going to be trying to do as much as possible
I should investigate.
to try and go 1 for 1 with how long each book is.
That bridge, whether you like it or not.
You think you're safe with that special magic, but you're not.
What do you think you're doing?
Killing people.
Time for you all to clear out. Sure, I
Regret coming here.
He thinks you should be proud of what you've written. I can't do a good dig. Yeah, no, I am. I'm very happy with what I've done. Again, I'm trying to write an epic. While there'll be romance, not the main focus.
Slow down now. There we
While there be humor, not the main focus. I'm trying to write a story that is designed to be an epic tale from start to end. Something that can easily be turned into a game or a TV show. And that's how I'm writing every chapter. Every chapter has a beginning, a problem that needs to be solved, a solution to that problem, character development, and an end. I'm essentially writing one-shots on every single freaking chapter. And as they're written, they can be expanded upon. Every chapter ties back into every other chapter, with the idea of a Chekhov's gun being laced throughout the everything. I love doing Chekhov's guns, by the way, just pointing out. Racist. So a Chekhov's gun, again, for those who don't know, don't know. The idea of a Chekhov's gun is, it is a story idea where if you have a, for example, if in chapter 1 of a story you write, if you, in chapter 1 of a story, you write about a loaded shotgun that's on a wall.
Professor Rackham was right to have had faith in you.
By chapter 5, you need to have that shotgun go off.
Isadora, as you will see, was not who she seemed. I can only hope that you are. My memories should answer any questions you may have about the power you will need to protect.
Thank you, Professor Bakar. I shall see you back in the map chamber. Confringo!
And he's dead. Oh. So, while and again, I wish I'm planning on making this story into a game. Open world, Skyrim style, Hogwarts Legacy mechanic game. It's going to be difficult, it's going to take a long time, but that is my end goal. Will there be romance in the Harry Potter era for Harrison? Yes, of course. Harry will have 3 potential partners. Not at the same time. It's not a harem story. Like, it's in the description of the fic. It's going to be Harry and Link, but there's going to be something that happened that's going to have him go out with 2 other people.
Isadora? Mr. Morganach,
No. Although they will be kissing once. But no, they're just friends.
Son, I'm glad you're here.
Isadora was not at her home.
I know.
Her father... Percival.
What is it?
It is as though he was stripped not only of his pain, but of all emotion.
Everything is much worse than I feared. Neve was right. Isadora hasn't stopped. I've just learned that she has been wielding that magic on students.
We must gather the others.
Yeah, it's going to be a... that's going to be one of the comedic moments. They're going to kiss.
I need you to return to your common room, all right?
Oh yeah. Best friends, most trusted confidant, whole shebang.
What have you done?
Take a breath.
students, Isadora.
Everyone feels pain. And why? Because of your arrogance? Your obsession with secrets? We won't suffer any longer. Not my father, not my students.
And yeah, that right there is a repository of Hylian magic.
Set down your wand.
Professor, you taught me to hone my power, not throw it away.
I did not teach you this. Expelliarmus!
So the way I'm explaining it is Hylian magic between the end of the Twilight era and the beginning of Harry Potter era. Twilight magic reverted. Like, we're talking about a full regress because Hylians died out. The pieces of the Triforce went missing. Although they remained in the mortal realm, they went missing. So Hylian magic instinctually tried to reach out and it caused muggles to start using it. Side effect of it was those muggles eventually got wizarding magic with something called ancient magic to supplement. It's essentially a heavily watered down, heavily mutated Hylian magic. When it's exposed in the world, it becomes proper Hylian magic, but inside the body, it's just watered down and dormant. Which is why our characters here don't explode with the mix of Hylian and human magic. As far as who's going to be using them, I've decided that Adrian Chase, the main character of my previous run of this game, check the channel for that particular run, will be in the fanfic. I've managed to put him in somehow. We'll just do this cutscene first.
The caverns below Hogwarts, where you fought Isadora. Is that the location of the final repository?
It is. You see, we could not destroy the strands of emotion Isadora had stolen from so many. So we did all that we could to keep them safe. We also realized that until they could be destroyed, the magic used to create them was a danger to wizard kind. Hence, we became keepers. Keepers of an unfathomable secret. We knew that someday, one with the ability to see traces of ancient magic might be seduced by its power. We built the trials to lead that person to us, to allow them to prove themselves worthy of the knowledge we'd kept hidden and the responsibility that accompanies it.
Have I not proven myself, Professor?
You have, and you will. But the repository is protected by...
So the repository is safe?
If he is, as you suspect, capable of using the power of the other repository...
Then I must go now and craft this wand. Perhaps Mr. Ollivander will help me.
Another? Return with the wand, and we...
Exactly.
I shall send an
finish this off.
Professor Weasley.
Yes.
We'll just skip this. Yeah, exactly. The ancient magic is watered down and mutated inside the body. When it's been casted, like when it's been casted like that, as it leaves the wand, it returns back to its pure Hylian form, which is why it's so powerful. But inside the body, it is mutated. When Harry gets back into the what's it called? Into the Harry Potter era, by that time, 2 of the pieces of the Triforce have shown up. He doesn't know it, so this is like off-screen kind of deal. 2 pieces of the Triforce return to the mortal realm. And therefore, people with the ability to cast ancient magic suddenly lose that ability. Because Hylian magic itself is arrogant, and 1, it needs itself to exist, and 2, it needs to exist in Hylians. So when the Triforce starts returning, and the divine curse that is sitting on Hylians that cause them to become very promiscuous when there are not a lot of them around becomes active.
I hope he can help me craft the Keeper's wand.
The Hylian magic, the ancient magic that's within mortals,
Hello, Mr.
starts
Ollivander.
going away.
I wondered if you might be able to help me with something.
But
Yes, Professor Fig. He
The-
was a bit.
Yes, sir.
the ancient magic
be
that's like
honest,
around the
I have
world,
never
that's like the
crafted a
sitting,
wand
the
with
trials,
this
the
fashion.
repositories, stays where they are.
I think I can.
Yep. You have to consider Hylian magic is not meant to be wielded by humans. So the world has to correct itself.
It is done.
Oh yeah. Oh no, sorry.
I should warn you. I've never seen a wand like this before.
Link,
My suspicion,
Harry,
as Professor
and Zelda
Fig implied
are
in his
immune
letter,
to divine
is that
curses.
It serves a unique
Well,
purpose.
Divine curses
I doubt you
of
shall find much use for it otherwise.
power level of him or lower. So
understand.
there is a divine curse on Hylians that if they are going extinct, they become promiscuous and have the urge to have many, many children. Harry is immune to that because he's a royal Hylian. Zelda is immune to that because she's a royal Hylian. And Link is immune to that because he is currently under the effects of another divine curse.
No need for such theatrics. In light of what Ranrock now knows, you must agree that our interests are aligned.
Our interests will never be aligned.
Shut up, Facebook. No one likes you.
You would let goblins take what is rightfully ours? The final
Piss off, Facebook.
repository belongs to wizard kind. We would be fools not to work together. What's that you've got there? This sudden visit to the wand maker have something to do with our
Link's divine curse is
unusual
currently
pursuit?
under
I have no idea what you're talking
Demises.
about.
That repository is my birthright.
Charles Rookwood wouldn't have wanted you near it.
The arrogance. Should have known better than to try and reason with a child. I've always said, children should be seen and not heard.
Yep. It's also Link, Harry, and Zelda and Ganondorf, or more specifically, Demise's hatred, are also affected by the divine curse of Demise, which is a reincarnation of my hatred shall follow you through time. An endless cycle of bloodshed. Also, divine curses can only be stopped or broken.
A lamb to the slaughter. Incendio! How delightful.
Hello.
How can I help? Ha! You're easy enough. Knew you were still hanging about. Expulso! Well, you're still. Aha!
Why is Harrison affected by it? So I think So Harrison is the last Hylian soul. He's the last. So Hylian souls were created by Hylia. With Hylia's quote-unquote death, no more Hylian souls are being created. So everyone that is a Hylian are straight up, they're just in a cycle of resurrection. But Harry himself, his soul is Hylian, but he was born into the body of a human. And because he is... because he's inside the body of a human, even though he's in the body of a human, as a Hylian soul, he is still affected by Hylian curses. Now, Hylia created Harry's soul. Well, it was specifically the part of Zelda that is Hylia. Created Hylia's soul, created the soul when she descended. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate here. So, what's her name? So, Hylia created Harry's soul and threw the soul forward into time. She then descended into mortalhood. As Harry's soul traveled through time, when Demise cast the curse, his soul was present. So, Zelda, Demise, Link, and Harry's invisible soul were all of them were present during the curse being cast. So he's affected by the curse just as a mistake, essentially. Which is why he's affected by the cycle of hatred.
This has become personal.
Knew you were still hanging. You're going to regret.
Bombard. You should have joined me.
Where are you, real quick? Where are you, Rookwood?
A lamb to the slaughter.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
I ain't gonna play his games. It's a divine mistake, yeah.
I can't believe it. Rookwood's reign is finally over. I'll need to send an Alternati right away. For now, though, I need to get back to the map chamber and tell Fig what happened.
Yeah, Harry's affected by it because his soul was present during the curse being cast. And he has had... what's it called? He's had a life as a human. Both in the original Harry Potter era and the beginning of Hylian era.
Victor Rookwood is dead. He confronted me.
Godric's heart. Are you all right?
He destroyed so many lives and he wouldn't have stopped.
You're right. He wouldn't have stopped. You did what you had to do.
Thank you for saying so, Professor. I'm ready for what's next.
All right, then. The Keepers have been waiting.
You have completed all of our trials, and you have done so under circumstances even I did not foresee. You understand now why all of this was necessary. The portkey, the vault, the locket, the book, the trials. To ensure that one with the ability you and I share would make the same choice that San, Neve, Charles, and I did.
Now that you have witnessed my memory, you understand all that is at stake. Not everyone is what they seem.
As
Exactly.
you know, light does not exist without shadow, nor shadow without light. Simply because you can eliminate darkness does not always mean that you should.
Even the most well-meaning and competent amongst us cannot possibly know the consequences of manipulating what should be beyond our reach.
What lies in the repository must never be released. Resist the temptation to destroy or control it. The magic that you have so carefully honed must now be used only to protect the secret we keep. You have the wand. You will know when to wield it. We leave our legacy in your hands.
Yay! Just gonna skip that bit. Hope you guys are ready.
I should hope that the enchantments protecting the castle would protect against an incursion from below.
I fear they may not. Although, if they don't now, I can assure you they will in the future.
Were you able to reach Professor Weasley?
I was. Hopefully she and the others will arrive soon. They know where to find the door through which we entered.
Alright.
Damn, the goblins.
I wonder if Ranrock is here.
Let's go. If his loyalists are here, he cannot be far behind.
You and I have faced worse, Professor.
There's the area. Must be here somewhere. We must be getting closer. Ranrock will be pleased with our progress. Over here. Rather unwise coming back this way. How dare you use that spell on me? Back to the bed.
Consider this part of the game basically what Harry would do in a fight with bokoblins and moblins and all that.
We need to move it.
I shall handle it. One moment. Let's go.
Yeah, this is how Harry would fight. Just imagine more swords.
Bombarda. Mind defender. Ring gods. Suit me, sitting around all day. Mind you, suppose it could get a bit unforgivable.
Now what?
Professor, that wall, that's the way forward.
Very good. It worked. Let's go.
Lumos!
Ranrock must be getting closer to finding the repository.
I fear you're right, Professor. There's nothing we can do but keep searching.
Listen, more goblins away.
What?
I won't rest. But about when?
Yeah, this is exactly how Harry would fight.
I won't rest.
Potato!
One less human to worry about.
Confringo!
Ranrock's army. Rest.
Gonna collect these because I won't be able to later.
Have yourself. Bomber there.
These tunnels haven't brought us much luck so far.
We're getting closer, Professor. That way.
Unfortunately, I don't have the outfit I wanted. But what I'm wearing will do. Personally, if a bunch of the professors from Hogwarts stood against me, I would be concerned. They're meant to be, like, the best of the best.
Have somehow evaded the castle's defensive charms.
Steer them this way. We shall make quick work of them.
They got this.
They'll be fine. It's fine. The discount Molly Weasley just, you know.
Time to move. We're in the thick of it now.
We'll slowly speak to who's in charge. Your timing couldn't be better, Professor Hackett.
Thank you, Professor.
Here we are.
Not quiet.
Shit. Yeah, so if you haven't heard, this is basically how Harry would fight. Just with more swords. Like, Harry knows how to balance his magic and his swordplay. Okay, let me just, because I'm gonna lose these. You can't actually collect them before the game sends you to the next segment. So, hey, Mr. Aura Man. Yeah, so he'd have more. He would be using more swordplay more than magic. But he'd be using it as a balance, like well-placed Protego here, sword swipe there, a flash step, you know, that kind of stuff. Also, flash step is an ability that Harry will be using. He doesn't create it, but imagine Minato Namikaze from Naruto, how he could teleport. Same deal, except very limited range and only to places in eye view. Kind of like mini apparitions, but apparition doesn't even exist yet. So it's like what happened before apparition. Consider it. You take a step forward and suddenly you flash 20 meters ahead. You know, that kind of deal. Alright, here come the important parts. This is what Harrison Hyrule would be in the Harry Potter era. You ready for some Harry Potter era spoiler? Not spoiler, but this is after Harry's lived through the Hyrule era. Twilight Princess. What happens between Twilight Princess and him going back into his own time. And all the way up to 4th year. After all of that, this is what Harry becomes. From this point onward. So, consider everything I'm about to do to be a spoiler to Harry's morals, principles, and actions, including actions that he will be taking 3rd year. From this point. So yeah, he will be doing something that is going to mimic what's going to happen in 3rd year.
I can't believe this is it. The repository has been under the castle for hundreds of years.
Think of all the pain that created it. This is what Miriam, George, your friend Lodgok, and countless others died for. Miriam believed this forgotten magic could be used for such good. But she did not know the risks. She did not see what the Keepers have shown you. What Isadora showed you. You are now the keeper of whatever power it holds.
Alright, you ready? You guys ready? You guys ready? This entire fight. You ready? Oh wait, I've got to do this. So, Harrison Hyrule, after living through the hatred of the Hylians, after living through all of the Hyrule era, through Twilight Princess, through what happens between Twilight Princess and the Harry Potter era, and from the beginning of Harry Potter era all the way to the beginning of 4th year. Everything that happens makes him the man who he becomes.
I have decided to open the repository. Its power cannot lie dormant for centuries more.
After everything you've seen, what about Isadora's fate?
Isadora wasted her ability trying to save people from themselves. I will not let others dictate what I do with this. My power.
You cannot possibly mean that. You, of all wizard kind, are wholly aware of the misery and pain that could cause.
the arrogance of wizard kind. Goblins built this repository. It belongs to us.
What do you guys think of that response?
It was never yours.
I've been wanting to play with this.
Miriam's wand.
If she'd simply handed over the container, all of this could have been avoided. Foolish, self-important witch. Seems you're two of a kind. She didn't know when to give up either.
So what did you guys think of that response, huh? Time to mess with this. I actually kind of do now need to get stuff properly sorted out. Okay, I think that'll be good. Oh, Ranrock's not just a traitor, but what about Harry's response to Fig's questions?
It's feeding off the power from the repository.
Your beautiful magic is no match for mine, child.
Purple. Right, so Avada Kedavra just straight up done work. Shit, alright, I thought I had a bit more power here. It appears I don't have that power.
Protect yourself again.
Actually, I should have a look, see if I can level up my handies. No. 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 And no. Okay, so I'm wearing the best that I have. Okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense. A human trying to protect against Hylian magic.
You can't stop me.
This time I've got a shit ton of Wiggenweld. Mainly because I played this game properly this time. I forgot. Okay, I got you. You.
Not very much, do you? Defender.
Crucio kind of works. Oh, shit. Crucio, I think, still works. I mean, that does kind of make sense. It's just meant to give, like, the equivalent of poison damage. Wrong spell! Wrong spell! Ow! Beautiful! And here we go! Oh, I can't. Come on. Beautiful. Oh, there's 4! Shit, interruption. I think I did it! It's the room dance!
Thank you, Marion.
I did it. And the game didn't crash.
Professor Eleazar Fig. I dare say he was a beloved professor to many of you, certainly a long-standing colleague to his peers. A famed adventurer and seeker of knowledge, he built a reputation charging into the unknown, brazenly disregarding both discretion and safety, providing perhaps a rather unfortunate lesson for us all. His devotion to adventure was rivaled only by his dedication to Hogwarts. And of course, to his wife, Midi, whom we lost much too soon as well. Yeah.
Professor Fig represented the best of all of us. Oh, he could be deviously clever, possessed a brilliant,
Yeah.
inquisitive mind.
We've already gone through through that.
So you lost Fig.
Hey, Sebastian.
As well as you did.
How you doing, boy?
He's a good man. Glad Weasley spoke for him. She honored him well. Fig will be well. I wish the same could have been. Sebastian, I can't imagine what you... I hope so. Sebastian, there's something you should... I heard a rumor that he can... The rumors are true, and I did. But it's not that. Just before... The same words...
Wait. Yes, we know this.
It wasn't one of Ranrock's loyalists who... This can't be. It was the loyalists. It's always been them. Once Rookwood allied with Ranrock, is it... That's why Rookwood was there the night Anne was cursed. He was working with Ranrock. So he cursed her. And she's never been the same. So cruel. Rookwood deserved what he got. Thank you for telling me. It wasn't a goblin. All this time I thought goblins were the enemy. Ominous said he's spoken with Anne. I wonder if she'll see me. I'll find out.
So, that is what Harrison would do. And will do. Surprise spoiler for either Chamber of Secrets or Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry will discover Adrian Chase and the magical repository underneath Hogwarts and take it for his own. I don't know whether it's going to be Chamber of Secrets or Prisoner of Azkaban. Not entirely sure. I think it might be Prisoner of Azkaban because there's a lot going on in Chamber of Secrets already. But yes, we're done. Actually, no.
In the Great Hall. I would like to speak with you. Meet me in the Undercroft as soon as you can.
So remember, too much Hylian magic, Harry goes boom boom. Hello! So it'll be more, because I'm not making Harry more powerful than already is. It'll be less of a power boost and more of a power recycle. Essentially what he's doing is he's taking it into himself so that way he can get rid of it from the world. Also, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in Gryffindor. But yeah, that is quite functionally what he's doing. He's just taking it into himself to remove it in the shadow of the friendship. We're going to be doing all these, by the way. We're going to be 100%ing the game. But the game might be set only on Sundays now, and we'll go back to a main game on Wednesdays. So today's Sunday for me. So these streams on these days will be probably Hogwarts Legacy. Other games, we're probably going to go on to something else, because it's been, what, 2 months of just Harry Potter content. So I'm going to change it up. But, yeah, don't think I'm done with this game. There's going to be more. When more mods come out, when other shit comes out. Not Slytherin, no. While he is ambitious, he is more loyal, brave, courageous. He's more that. Plus, again, while he would be suited for Slytherin, I have to try and keep it close, but not exactly canon. Now, let's see if I finally unlocked Mystic's outfit. No. Still don't have the Mystic's outfit.
I'm glad you came. Sebastian, I've received your... Ominis spoke with Anne about what happened with my Uncle Solomon, but she won't turn me in. She said the guilt I'll have to live with is... I'm so sorry. But I'm glad... The thing is... I think I've... I can't blame her. I couldn't really blame any of you if you gave up on... Anne may just need some time. I hope you're right.
Totally.
I realize I can't undo what's been done, but I can try every day to make up for it. Well, it wasn't easy, but I believe in you, Sebastian. Seems so long ago. Thank you. I'm glad you came to Hogwarts.
Also, I think I said it before, but Harry will be utilizing the Undercroft until he obtains another room that he may need. It's not the room of requirement, it's going to be the room of necessity. But he'll be utilizing the Undercroft as his temporary base. Oh yeah, there's going to be a hat stall. A full-blown hat stall. By that time, Harry will have his hand on Occlumency. There's going to be a hat stall. Now, I did think about doing another fanfic trope of going, I cannot sort him! And then they go to the headmaster's office and have a discussion, and they choose Gryffindor. But that's like, you know, an extra step to get the same cake. You know, it's not very well. It's not a very nice trope. It's just one of those kind of tropes. So it will be a hat stall. The hat can't relate. Can't say anything out, so he's not going to tell Dumbledore or anything. But it is going to be interesting. Professor Weasel. Hello, Weatherby.
Professor Weasley, you wanted to see me?
I know you were quite...
Hogwarts won't be...
So we're going to skip this, mostly. And get to the assessment. I wish I could have done my owls.
What do you think, Professor?
I think you've been busy then. I see some progress here, but fortunately you do have some time. I will confess, I had a sense about... I am pleased to see... To think you've only been with us a year and you'll already be taking your...
Thank you, Professor.
You are most welcome.
Invaluable recruitment process, your opinion. You have a unique perspective getting your experience with us and truly grateful. Look forward, Minister for Magic, Faris Spavin. Minister for Magic. Yoink. It's all your money. Yoink. It's all your cloak. Ah, there's a boggart in there.
Revelio.
Yoink. Stole your gloves. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I had a phone call. Give me a quick second. What in the name of Hyatt? When it gets in Harry's head. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna check something. So, Harry and the Hat. It's gonna be a different thing. It's gonna be an iffy whiffy. Oogie boogie. Stinky. Ooh woo, stinky. It's not gonna be one of those. I just imagine the Hat screaming. So they're gonna have a debate. There's going to be a debate. I'm not even level 34 yet. What level? 30. Oh wow, okay. It's going to be a interesting dynamic for sure. It's going to be an interesting showcase because the Hat is going to know about Harry. So it's going to be an interesting one. What else do I have? Any other, any cool things? No. I even level up with that fight with Ranrock? No, I didn't. Alright. So I need to get to level 34. I'll be playing this game in my own time and then also on Sunday streams. So it's going to be fun. I need to talk to Deke. But the Hat will know of Harry. Also, what's this? I just got a message from work. Oh, okay. Huh. Let me go up here. There's going to be a showcase with the Hat, because again, the Hat's going to know of Harry. There's going to be hints. There's going to be... not Shortcut, the other one. There's going to be interesting, adorable baby Thestrals. There's going to be things and stuff and whatnot that will be showing with Harry and the modern era. Just because Hyrule is gone doesn't mean it wasn't around. So even though Harry is the prince of a long dead civilization, even though he has no family except a couple, there are family members alive. It's not more the Hat. It's more specifically the founders are going to know of Harry, and not Harry himself, but Harry's reputation. You can't have a legacy like the Empire of Hyrule and then not to be any kind of evidence of their existence.
Deke is privileged to see such majestic beasts.
What do you mean, to blame?
Years ago, Deke's master ordered Deke to help him capture. The Phoenix was the most beautiful beast Deke had ever seen. When Deke hesitated to climb up the cliff as ordered, as Deke punished himself, Master grew angrier and angrier. Deke suspects the Phoenix was protecting eggs when it swooped down in fear and fury. Before Deke could reach, Deke stayed on that cliffside for days, punishing him.
It sounds to me as if your master got what he deserved.
Deke never wanted anyone to get hurt. Deke often wonders what... Deke feels fortunate to be at Hogwarts now, helping you...
Cool. But the founders are going to know of Hyrule, of the Cursed Prince that Harry... a title that Harry is going to eventually gain. What? Huh? What? Oh. More room. Oh. All right. So yeah, they're going to know of the Cursed Prince. They're going to know of that there was a civilization that came before. It's going to be very Assassin's Creed, if I have to make an analogy. Can we please have... Thank you. I'm going to have a Gothic style throughout, please. It's going to be an interesting dynamic, especially with what the Hylians were. Especially with Slytherin. Why is Harry called the Cursed Prince? Okay, it's not much of a spoiler, but Harry has a reputation of... So he's going to create his own spells. But he's going to have a reputation of... Because his Zora form, I haven't actually used it much. I'm going to be. He's going to have a form that is a Zora, for those of you who don't know. And his Zora form is going to be witnessed by the Hylians. And the explanation is that he was cursed. He's also got the curse. He's had to fight through the curse of demise with the Twilight Princess era. He's got the curse of a Hylian. So he has quite a few, like, I think 4 separate Hylian curses that are currently on him. Even if the Hylian curse is not active, like, even though he's immune to it, he's still cursed with it. Or even, I don't know, I might put it that, like, the Hylians just don't know that that royal Hylians are immune. So to the people, he has 4 divine curses active and on him. So that'll give him the title of the Cursed Prince. He's a Prince of Hyrule, and he has been cursed with many, many curses.
Hello, Deke. Indeed, Deke does. Deke knows.
Oh!
A phoenix nest. I wonder if it belongs to the phoenix Natty mentioned.
Deke would not doubt it. If Deke has heard of it...
Well, I'd better go and rest.
Deke thinks so. Deke is not sure why, but Deke feels that saving a phoenix might... Deke hopes that you are able to...
He's going to be called the Cursed Prince because of all the freaking curses that are active against him. So I'm going to go there. And there's going to be some mistranslations. Like, Voldemort, for example, I'm going to have a very intelligent, very powerful Voldemort. He's still going to be Harry's nemesis. That's not changing. He's going to be very knowledgeable, very intelligent. It's going to be dangerous, a dangerous Voldemort, a properly dangerous Voldemort. So he's going to be looking for any kind of advantage against anyone he can. So the mistranslation is he's going to discover evidence, he's going to discover books, whatnot, about a being who once existed known as the Prince of Curses. It's going to be a mistranslation, but he's going to be searching for the works and for the magics that were allegedly created by an ancient being known as the Prince of Curses. The goblins are going to know exactly who it is because the goblins and the Hylians are close. I think I've established in the past.
Hogwarts poachers are already here.
Hylians are very, very close allies with goblins. The goblins, when the Hylians came down from Skyloft, the goblins were there. They welcomed them with open arms, and they taught the Hylians how to use their magic. In return, the Hylians taught the goblins how to create their pinnacle of metallurgy, Hylian steel, which
Stayed at the castle.
for those of you who like Harry Potter, Hylian steel is goblin silver.
Bombarder. Defender.
So Hylian steel and goblin silver, the same stuff that the sword of Gryffindor is made of, is one and the same.
Your poaching days are over.
Interesting. I need to get rid of that animagus. He's smart.
Out.
Defender. Confringo.
There we go. How can I help? Defender. Bombarder. Confringo. Confringo.
Yeah, there's going to be a full subplot of Voldemort attempting to locate Harry's work, because Harry will be making, like, writing books and making stuff like that of his work. But Voldemort will be getting one of them, and will be attempting to locate more. Sup, Bino? Are you Sparks?
It almost seems as if it wants me to follow it. I need to find it before.
Are you Sparky? You Sparky the Phoenix? Keep in mind, this is shit that Harry would do. I haven't changed that yet. That's still going on.
There it is again.
All right. Oh. Uh-oh! Uh-oh, Reggie! Yeah, no, so, Harry's brutal. He has to be. So he's raised as a prince, taught from basically birth, how to wield weapons, magic, how to kill when necessary, how to do what needed to be done. And because he's a prince, and because he's going to be a Hylian, he's going to have that Hylian arrogance where it's like, I am better than you, so why should I be arrested for killing you, you know? He doesn't like killing, but he understands that it is a necessity of his way of life.
Confringo.
Ah, shit. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he has to be brutal. Because that's how he was taught. Hylians have an instinctual, like, unquenchable drive to protect those that are weaker than them. So, to Harry, nearly everyone is weaker than him. So when he sees an injustice, both as the because he'll be taking on positions in the military, as a member of the military, he has a duty to protect, to dole out punishment. And as regent, because when Zelda isn't present, he'll be acting as regent, as regent, he has the duty to punish people as he sees fit. And if he sees fit that death is deserving, he will dole out such punishment with no regrets.
Shame you're so foul.
In the possible game that gets made, you're gonna have a lot of power. It'll be a god maker. You're going to feel as if you're a god, but you can easily be defeated. Because if in the game mechanics, I would try and get close to how Dark Souls is, where it's like, okay, you have all this power, but you have to be strategic. You have to use it properly. If you just start spamming spells, if you don't dodge, all that kind of stuff, you're not aware of your of what spells you have ready, of what's around you, you'll die.
That was for Highwing. The beasts are safe now.
Yes, lots of full. Right. Yeah, that's long into the future. The abilities that Harry would be given are basically everything. Once he's earned a power, he'll have that power, and nothing will stop him from that. Nothing will result in him losing it. Another thing that I'm hoping to do with this potential game is have it as a massive open world. So, all of England, most of Europe, part of North America, all available to traverse as you wish. Why? Because those are places Harry would be going to. When you unlock the Twilight Realm, you can come and go as you please. When you unlock the Silent Realm, you can come and go as you please. When you unlock Lorule, you can come and go as you please. Fully open world with story. When something happens that locks a realm out of you, so like for example, if something were to happen and the Mirror of Twilight gets destroyed, you won't be able to go there. If something were to happen and you lose access to painting magic, you can't get to Lorule anymore. That's the kind of stuff that I would have in this game. And everything would be based on every arc.
Hello.
Sup, Phoenix?
I'm here to help.
Get in the bag!
We're safe.
Get in the bag!
Let's get you back to the room.
Because it is... The Silent Realm is kind of like the mirror dimension in Doctor Strange. Once you're in there, there's only one way out. That is specifically through the doorway in the Temple of Time. And the doorway in the Temple of Time is perpetually locked unless the Master Sword is removed. So it is a perfect prison. Harry has a way of... That's a Necromantula. Not dealing with you. Harry has a way of getting there by the grace of Hylia and the Golden Goddesses. If they didn't give him permission... That's the wrong spell. If they didn't give him permission to enter and exit the Sacred Realm for his healing, he would not be able to enter and exit the Sacred Realm. But the Sacred Realm itself is a perfect prison. With the Triforce not being there, because the way in Ocarina of Time explained it, when you go into the Twilight Realm, into the Sacred Realm, if you wish upon the Triforce, or if you touch the Triforce, and your heart is imbalanced, the Sacred Realm, the Silent Realm, will change to reflect what you did. So if you're lighthearted, the Silent Realm will say the way it is. If you're like Ganondorf, the Silent Realm would fall into the Dark World, and it would become part of the Dark World. With the Triforce not present in the Silent Realm, it is stagnant. It stays the way it is. You can't change the Silent Realm based on your heart. It is perfectly safe. So it became what is essentially a perfect prison because there's no way out. So with Harry, he uses it as a training area and a what's it called? A training area and a way to heal. Sorry, I drew a blank. A training area and a way to heal temporarily heal from his injury. The royal family uses it to store bad guys, basically. Varty can't escape because of the that was terrible. Varty can't escape because of how the sword keeps him down. Ganondorf wasn't able to escape because, again, the door is just perfect.
Aloha, MOAR.
The only way to leave is basically with permission. So the Silent Realm is used to store bad guys.
Confringo.
What else? Yeah, the power that Harry will have, the game that if it gets made, hopefully, I'm hoping it'll get made. It's just going to take a long time. Because I'd probably have to do it by myself. I'd probably also get cease and desist from basically everyone. Because I'd be violating many copyright. But hopefully I can... There's something called fair use. So long as I create the assets myself and so long as I'm not making any money, which I won't, it'll be fully free for everyone. And I release it free for everyone under fair use. CC Creative Commons BY 2.0, which is free for use, free to provide, and so long as you give credit, it's fine. But yeah, the multiple times. So long as the game is fine, then it'll get made. But yeah, it'll be utilized to the Silent Realm. I love that. I still love that. The stuff that happens will be that's a toilet. Oh, I see. When the game gets made, again, it'll be massively open world. And the reason why I want that is because I want it to feel like an epic. I want it to feel like an adventure that lasts for ages. I also have a temporary idea. Every arc, if you were to just only do the main story, just the main story of every arc, one arc would last 25 hours. With 10 arcs, that is 250 hours of just doing the main story. Give me a quick second. And that's a huge game. Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. And because I don't like games that feel empty, there's going to be side quests. There's going to be collectibles. There's going to be upgrades. I'm expecting there's going to be like a trait system where you can spec into things. Lots and lots of specking. And in order to max out your character, I'm guessing 1,000 levels instead of the classic 100 or Hogwarts Legacy's 40. And it would be logarithmic as well, so leveling up feels good. How do I get in there? Oh. Oh. That works. Kind of breaking the game probably, but this works.
Revelio.
Oh, there it is. I mean, don't knock it till you try it. Yeah, so it's going to be a massive game. It's going to have side quests, collectibles, the leveling up, all of that kind of stuff, and it's all going to make sense because I know I've got experience in doing kind of RPG making, kind of. There's going to be a shit ton of spells. There's going to be a spell creation system. Because I would very much like there to be a spell creation system where you can straight up, like, if you guys have ever played Minecraft Thaumcraft has a spell system where you basically, you pick an effect and you pick how that spell is casted. Long range, short range, touch, ritual, all that kind of stuff. And you can basically make your own spells to utilize like you do in Hogwarts Legacy. So potentially thousands of spells. Don't quote me on that. Could be hundreds. I don't know. But yeah, I'm being very ambitious with this potential game. It's also going to have... so every arc, you'll have access to a different set of open world. So in the first arc, the Prince of Hyrule, you will have access to all of Hyrule. That's Hyrule Kingdom, Ordon, Hytopia, Labrina, Holodrum, Ocean King, all of it. You will then eventually unlock Lorule. When you come to the Twilight Princess arc, you would keep everything you've already got unlocked, and then on top of that, unlock the Twilight Realm for full exploration. Open world exploration, not just locked behind missions. I don't like it when they do that. When you get into the Harry Potter arc, you'll lose access to Lorule, Hyrule, and the Twilight Realm, and instead gain access to England, parts of Europe, North America.
And I rescued it from the poachers.
Now that includes London, Gringotts. That includes Scotland Highlands. That includes a lot of... Yeah. Oh! A phoenix feather.
What a beauty. You keep it close.
A 100% that game for sure. I'd expect 500 hours to 100% the game.
Deke were right to tell you about the room of requirement. Look at all you've done, and how many beasts.
I couldn't have done it without your...
Deke is grateful for helping you do such good. Deke will always be.
Keep in mind as well, all this potential stuff, at the moment it's just talk. I can't back it up. I don't have those skills yet. I'm getting there though. It's going to be fantastic. With it though, it's going to be... Actually, here's a perspective. Skyrim. One of the greatest games of all time. One of the greatest RPGs of all time. Skyrim has 300 hours of content. That's to 100% the game. You have to play 300 hours to 100% the game base. Then, if you add on the DLC, that's a few more hours. That's Skyrim. I'm potentially planning on hopefully doing something almost twice as big. So, yeah. And when it's done, I'll play it. And it's going to be free. Because it has to be free. There will be no DLC. There will be no microtransactions. There'll be no Patreon exclusives. There'll be no YouTube subscriber exclusives. If you've never heard of me but have heard of the game, you will have 100% of its content available from the get-go. I am expecting the game to be abnormally large, though. So, like, maybe 400... like, large. It's going to be a huge game. So you'd probably need a beefy computer as well to play it. But I actually had an idea of trying to possibly do it in two separate ways. I can either release the game full and uncut, or I can release the game in basically like DLC segments. So like you release the game, say 10 segments, part 1 to 10. You play part 1, and you only get to play the Prince of Hyrule arc. Then you save your game, delete the game, download part 2, install part 2, and your save file carries over to part 2. That'll probably be the best way to do it, because otherwise the game could potentially be large, but I would be releasing it in both ways. But I'm hoping to do this. I would need a lot of help, really. I would need a lot of help. But it's something I'm passionate about and I want to do. I just want to make this place a little bit more pretty. Yeah, that's nice to have a good computer. Oh, very good. I have 24 terabytes of space on my PC. I've recently gotten. So Hi. Hey, Unican. Excuse me, Mr. Phonax. Yeah, it'll be a huge game if I decide to make it, when I decide to make it, if I ever get the skills to make it. I will never, and I will never, release a game that I'm not proud of. I know I would have to, I'm going to be spending a lot of money to make it, because there's no possible way that I'd be able to do it myself with just my skills. I would need to hire or subcontract people. Oh yeah! Phoenix, yeah, okay. Straight up, cool. Cool, alright. Excuse me, I would like a wand material. All we need is a dragon. Oh my god. Raphorn horn. Unicorn hair. Okay, so I've gotten 2 of the 3 standard magical foci and 1 abnormal terrestrial tail hair. God, this place is beautiful. Yeah, there's a potential to be a game, and I would play it on stream, even though I know how it goes. I would play it. Are these places all linked together? I don't think so. And all drives on my car. Oh, very nice. I recently bought 3 8TB drives, and I have enough space for another 1, so I'm going to be getting another one. Yeah, that's my hope. My hope is to make a phenomenal game based on this fanfic, because it's just something I'm passionate about and something I want to do. I know I'll have to hire people. It will be fully voiced, by the way. Fully voiced. And yes, Link will have to have a voice actor. I know voicing Link is sacrilege, but for the sake of the fanfic's accuracy, there needs to be voice lines for Link. And because I know people don't like it, there will be an option. Romance will be an option. Canon romance will be Link and Harry. But basically any single character will be able to be romanced. But canon would be Link and Harry. Oh, and Link and someone else. That's also canon, but that's a temporary relationship. I'm not saying anymore. I told my beta about it. He hates me, but he loves me now. So... Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. The rest is SSD. Oh, very nice. I see, I've got all just hard drives. I don't have any SSDs. They're too goddamn expensive. I wish I had enough money for freaking SSDs, but I just don't. And I think I've said this before. All of my content is free. Everything is... I'm never going to charge people. I might... If I get big enough, I might make some Patreon exclusives where things get released like maybe a month or a week early. But all my content's free. Any donations that I ever get, whether it's money, whether it's merch, because I've got merch, anything will always go back into the community, either making my hardware better, so that way I can provide a better experience, or, what's it called? Or it'll be going to giveaways and stuff like that, because I do have to buy the games that I am giving away. Or in the future, the consoles that I'll be giving away. But that's, again, that's if I get enough subscribers. I have so much that I want to do with this channel that I just can't unless I get enough subscribers. It's all... Everything is subscriber based, unfortunately. Beforehand, when I started YouTube, you could just make videos and make money on those videos. Now you can't. So I've got to look at alternative ways. I've got to have a job. I've got to go to work and all that. And I'm not promoting, oh, I'm going to get a job. No, I like working. But like, I would rather spend more time making better content for you guys than I would doing a job that I don't like, or, you know, just not doing anything. So that's why I always say at the end of my streams, the best way to support me is by subscribing, because if I get 1,000 subscribers and enough watch time, I'll be able to monetize my videos. That means YouTube pays me, and I don't have to ask you guys or, you know, get money from you guys, because I don't like doing that. I was raised very responsibly. And I don't want to ask for money, and I never will. But I'll always have, for those of you, because I have had people in the past who've asked, for those of you who want to, thank you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's not necessary, but every dollar I get will always go to making this channel and the content that I can make better. Whether that's games, whether that's giveaways, or whether that's, in the future, creating the Harrison Hyrule video game for everyone to play for free. But yeah, if I wish I had enough SSDs. I've got 3 8TB 3.5-inch hard drives, the big beefy ones. They're what, Seagate Barracudas, I think they are. Seagate's a pretty good brand anyway. And I've got one SSD, which is my C drive. I've got another 500 gigabyte hard drive as a backup file. So a lot of the files I have on my computer need backups. Especially the fanfic stuff. So I've got a backup on my OneDrive, my Microsoft OneDrive. I've got a backup on a separate drive. And then I work on my main. And those files, every time I save, say I'm working on chapter 13, every time I save, they get saved locally on that drive, locally on another drive, and on the cloud. A lot of people on fanfiction.net say, "Oh, my computer broke and everything," and it's like, okay, fine, your computer broke. Just say you didn't have enough time if that's the case. I get, yes, computers break, that happens, but I don't know, it happens a lot to fanfiction authors, which is odd. So I don't believe it anymore. So I make sure to have 3 different points of success when it comes to my my chapters to make sure I don't lose any. Plus, I have 3. I've got 3 other computers. I've got a air-gapped server that I keep redundant files or shit that I just don't want on my normal computer. I've got my laptop, which always syncs up to my main PC, the PC I'm playing this game on. So anything on this PC, I can get from that that laptop. And I have a Linux server, an Ubuntu server, which, when I get enough,
If it had been my toad,
I will have...
It was only her toad, Professor. You telltale. It was not.
Levioso.
Oh, Fitzroy, you naughty boy. See, I told you.
Now in future...
it will also... So that, my Ubuntu Linux server is for Minecraft. It is a Minecraft server that I used to run. But I can't run it at the moment. The costs of running it just went too high. So, and by cost of running a Minecraft server that I host on my local machine, by that I mean it was expensive to try and keep sustained, because I needed better hardware, I needed internet, all that kind of stuff. It was expensive.
It has a special knack. It's tormenting Professor Black.
Oh. Oh.